Greetings and welcome to another segment of Wild Treasures of an Outdoorsman. I'm in my backyard. I'm in my tree stand. I'm practicing bow hunting. I've got a little hunting story for you. This is the Wild Treasures of an Outdoorsman YouTube channel, and my name is Peter Updike. And I'm practicing bow hunting. I was hunting in the Potts Wildlife Management Area, I suppose it was about 15 years ago. I had scouted it out. I have drawn a quota permit for a muzzleloader hunt. I had scouted it out during the summer, and I have found an isolated island, because you know that area has got some big prairies and some big marshes, right? And I found this isolated island, had a lot of sign on it, and I found a tree. I marked it on my GPS and decided that that's where I would hunt come opening morning of that muzzleloader hunt. So that was like in August, and September gave way to October, and 2 hurricanes later, the whole area was flooded. But I didn't pay any attention to that. I really didn't know it. I loaded up my deer buggy with my tree stand and my muzzleloader in my backpack, and off I went down the trail, only to discover that it was kind of flooded. And I started my way across that grassy prairie, and the water just got deeper and deeper and deeper, and got to the point to where I could see my destination, but by now the water was well over my snake boots and getting deeper. But I was beyond the point of no return, so I kept on going, and I got all the way out to that island, and I made my way to the tree. The only problem was I was soaking wet from my belly button down. I was pretty wet, but I persisted and got my tree stand set up and got my deer buggy in place. And I had got all situated and was enjoying the hunt. And by then it was about 7:15 in the morning. And it was like 55 degrees. It was kind of cold. And after sitting in that stand for, 40-50 minutes, I began to get really cold. I was in the shade, and that's the way I planned it, and I could see clearly the area around me except for right underneath me. I could see over the cover, and but again, not too good right underneath the stand. Didn't matter. If I could see out there, that's what I was after, right? Anyway, like I said, I was wet and I was cold, and I was getting colder and colder by the minute. I was hunting out of an API climbing stand, the big one, and it's very comfortable. You can sit in it and navigate real well in it. And I decided that I'd pull off my snake boots because they were filled with water and quite cold and uncomfortable. So I pulled off those snake boots and I dropped them to the ground. And I thought to myself, you know what, the socks were soaking wet, everything was soaking wet. I went ahead and pulled my socks off too, because I was getting cold, right? Because I was wet. And I pulled my socks off and decided, you know what? I'm going to take my britches off too. So I took my hunting pants off and dropped them to the ground, and there I sat in my tree stand in my underwear, right? Because I was freezing cold. Let me back up a minute. I took those pants and I hung them on the rail in front of me, kind of like you would with a little blind. I had the pants hanging down. So, there I sat and thinking to myself, man, this really wasn't what I had envisioned. And just then, a nice 7-point buck came out right in that little area that, as I had mentioned, I wasn't able to see. I could see beyond, but could not see underneath the stand until it was right up on me. All of a sudden, there was a shooter buck right underneath my stand. And I was able to manipulate that muzzleloader and get on target. Funny thing, I had that deer buggy was right underneath my tree stand. When that deer came through the cover, I never saw him coming. He just appeared. And when he came, he saw that deer buggy, and he did one of these. He jumped like that and stomped his feet in the ground a little bit and just looked at that deer buggy and looked at my boots laying there on the ground. And he noticed them right away, but it was too late. I was able to get on him, and I shot myself a fine 7-point in my underwear. And true story, it that's just hunting, right? You adapt, you make the changes that you need to make to be comfortable. And what I needed to be dried out. I wasn't going to sit there the whole day in those wet clothes, just wait for them to dry out and then put them back on. So yeah, if that happens to you, maybe you might want to think about it. That's a big tree stand, and you can manage that, right? But it taught me a lesson. It taught me that things are not going to unfold the way you envision them in your mind. And yeah, I'm always envisioning the hunt in my mind, and yeah, it didn't turn out the way I had planned, but good enough, right? But it taught me that if I'm bow hunting, now if I was bow hunting that day and that deer had appeared underneath my stand, would I have been able to pull off the shot? Of course, with the muzzleloader, it's a little easier. I just needed to take safety off, get the gun around, and put it in the kill zone. I was able to do the deal. But with bow hunting, it's completely different. So with bow hunting, and I know you've heard me say this before, that I never practice archery. I always practice bow hunting. I don't want to become a better archer. I want to become a better bow hunter. So standing in your backyard, shooting a block target hundreds of times throughout the course of the summer won't help you nearly as much as getting in your tree stand, putting on your safety harness, right? And putting your 3D target underneath your stand. That's the application that I'm using today. I move it all over the backyard. But the application that I'm doing today is to shoot a deer that shows up, just like that one in the Potts Wildlife Management Area, right underneath my stand. Let me show you what I'm doing here. I'll take this off at the risk of ruining the video, and I'll show you. This is my backyard, and I can put that deer anywhere. Of course, this is my tree stand. There's the swamp behind the house, but that deer is showing up right underneath my tree stand. And if I want to kill that deer, I need to be able to pull off that shot. So let's try it and see what it looks like. I haven't done this all year yet. I've got my bow and my arrow already. I'm gonna give it a try. Now, I usually always keep my sight on the lowest setting, right? That's 20 yards or less. And then it goes up to 25, 30, and 35 yards on my dial there. But this deer is 3 yards away, straight down, not even 3 yards. From, yeah, I guess he'd be about 3 yards, would be pretty accurate from the bottom. If he was directly underneath my tree, I could never make it happen anyway. But let's just see how this feels. Getting behind the peep, turning the bow, getting on target, right there. Looks like a dead deer to me. I'm gonna do something. Let's put the GoPro on the bow. I don't know if this is gonna work. I just made a killer shot on that deer. Let's put the GoPro. I don't know if I can do this or not. Still adjusting. Bear with me here a second. I don't know if that's going to work or not because I can't see my peep. We'll give it a try anyway. How's that? Gonna load up my bow. All right, the deer's underneath my tree stand, and I'm going to make an attempt to come to full draw and turn and shoot that deer. Ah, full draw, behind the peep, aiming, 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 twist, turn, aim, and practical application to archery hunting is imperative if you want to be a good bow hunter. Being a good archer is fine, but being a good bow hunter. We're going to talk about it more in the days to come as we continue our study on how to become a good bow hunter every single season. How to become a better bow hunter. Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you want to. We talk about hunting and fishing and all things connected. All right. Love you guys. See you. Bye.